I had to quit nursing school, and it was such a battle. It was a dream that I had to literally let go of. I was miserable working my 9 to 5. Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Liz, and today we have Miss Leah Ray with us. She's 6 months and my heart cannot take it. She's so big. I hope that you're ready for today's story time. So grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your snack, and let's just have a good little story time. One of the questions that I got asked was, staying at home always the plan? So a little background story. When my husband and I were dating, I was 17, he was 18, but I was almost graduating from high school and I knew what I wanted to do career-wise. Started college. I finished all the prerequisites for nursing school. We got married and I got into nursing school. 9 months that we got married, I got pregnant with Leah. And if you've been in nursing school or if you know a little bit about it, you know that you have to do clinicals. Clinicals are 100% most of the time on your feet. You have to be very active. You have to walk to places, travel to different hospitals, and I was fine with it because that was the career path that I was choosing, and I was a medical assistant prior to that, so I loved the medical field. I was really into it. But when I was pregnant with her, I didn't know this until I visited the high-risk doctor, and I can leave my birth story somewhere here for you guys to watch if you're interested. But my pregnancy was high risk, so I needed to be on bed rest. Basically, I couldn't do the clinicals, I couldn't be on my feet all day, I couldn't travel places, I had to literally just sit down and rest. So I had to quit nursing school, and it was such a battle with me and my feelings, my emotions, and with God, because it was everything that I worked for. I was working in the medical field with a job that after I got my RN license, I was able to move up in the company. So it was a very hard decision to just stop nursing school after I was already so far into it. But I just remember feeling the conviction in my heart, like, this is not what I want you to do. And it was such a battle because I didn't really understand, like, why. Because nursing, you know, I thought of nursing of, like, if I go on a mission trip, I can help out in that sense. I can do so much. My family's gonna be so well put on their feet because of, like, financially and all of the things. So it was a dream that I had to literally let go of. And there's this song, I think they made an English version of it actually, but it's from Sarai. It's called Let Go. And literally this song is just saying, I let go of my dreams, I let go of my aspirations, and I just want your will for my life. And I remember sitting on the couch, I talked to my husband about it. My husband was like, well, if that's what the Lord is calling you to do, then do it, go for it. I was looking for him to be like, absolutely not. We have our whole plan ahead of us. So it was very hard to accept that answer. I prayed a lot about it, and I just really felt the Holy Spirit like telling me to let go of this dream that I had. I didn't really have another option, honestly, because of the pregnancy. I remember I was literally in tears, crying. I dropped out of all of the courses that I had. You might be thinking like, oh, that's so silly, why did you do that? Or why didn't you just finish the semester? Or why didn't you go back to nursing school? Like, there's always that option. This is where all of the pieces in the puzzle formed for me to become a stay-at-home mom. So I was working as a medical assistant before knowing that I was pregnant with Leah. I knew that, like, my scrubs were starting to feel tighter, and I just started to feel so extremely tired. So I was actually going through a lot of, like, health issues. I mentioned a few of them in my fertility journey video about a year ago. I was just getting heavy cramps, very intense pain, and I had to miss a lot of work because of it. Now, I hadn't been at this job that I had for more than a year, so I didn't qualify for FMLA yet, so I was missing out days. It was counting against me, and it came to the point that I lost the job because of how many days I was missing out because of my health situation. That same month, I lose my job. The week after I lose my job, I found out I'm pregnant with Leah, and then a week after that, my husband and I get anointed as pastors for a ministry in our church. So a whole lot going on all at once. So that's basically how I got to be a stay-at-home mom. It wasn't like something we kind of decided like, yeah, this month I'm gonna stop working and I'm gonna just focus on being a full-time mom. All just kind of led up to becoming a stay-at-home mom. And I do remember talking to God and to my husband about this, and something that I told God, I was like, God, we want a baby, and I want to be able to care for my babies. Like, I want to be able to be a stay-at-home mom and give them full attention, the full love, full education that they need at home. I want to homeschool my kids. I want to be able to be there for their first time they say their words, or the first time they roll over, or I just want to be there for it all. I don't want to just have them babysit. There's nothing wrong with that. This is my personal desire for my life. So and it's not that we don't have like the babysitters. Both of our parents are, all four of them are all retired, so we have more than enough babysitters. They do not mind at all. But it was always my desire to be the one there for my kids, to be the one taking care of them, and just to be there with them. And that's my desire, to eventually homeschool them when they're older and all of that good stuff. So that was kind of the deal that I had with God. I told God, I want to have kids, but I want to be able to be home and care for them myself. And it all led to this, to me being able to take care of Leah and of our future babies. I didn't work all throughout her pregnancy. I was able to stay at home and rest, which was so nice, because the first trimester you have no energy. Like, all the energy that you have, your baby's literally just like getting all of it. So it was very nice to be able to just rest and really listen to what my body needed to do, and not have the stress of like, oh my god, I have to go get up for work and push through the day. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Hi. Okay. Where was I? Mom brain is very real. Something that I've like come to the conclusion of is being a stay-at-home mom is a full-time job. More than a full-time job, honestly. I think there's a study that says that it's like a 2.5 full-time jobs or something like that. With my 9 to 5, I would clock in and I would clock out. Being a full-time mom, you can't clock in and you can't clock out. It's just, you're there all the time. And it's honestly so beautiful to be able to steward my home, and to be able to care for my baby, have a meal ready for my husband, have the house cleaned up. Like, I love it. There's nothing else that I would rather do. And it's honestly so beautiful to have a perspective change of like, oh my gosh, I have to clean, or oh my gosh, I have to cook, or this and that. But seeing it as a privilege, like, I have dirty dishes because there was a meal on my table last night. I have clothes to wash because I have clothes to wear. I have a home to clean. I have a baby to take care of. I have a little human that the Lord literally trusted my husband and I with to raise and to lead in this life. And it's honestly such a privilege. I love this. There's no better job, more rewarding, more difficult, but more beautiful than being a stay-at-home mama. And I'm also very busy. I'm not just a stay-at-home mom. I'm a full-time college student, so I'm still working towards my dreams. I'm still working towards my aspirations. We're active in ministry, which we're so passionate about. And it's such a beautiful thing. My husband has been so blessed with his job to be able to support our family. It's crazy to see how the Lord has sustained us, how he has literally provided in everything, and not just provided, but he has done it abundantly. It's so rewarding. It's so beautiful. Like, I'm literally living my dream. I'm living exactly what I imagined myself for this time period. Being at home, being a wife, being a mom, I love it. There's literally nothing that I would want to do other than this. I was miserable working my 9 to 5. And I don't think a lot of people talk about this, but I just remember I was so passionate for the work field, for the medical field, and I just remember feeling this disconnection with the work field, like, and it wasn't my job, it wasn't like the people there, it was just like the 9 to 5 working for another person type of thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was miserable, like, and I think the Lord allowed me to have this feeling so I could lead up and be well for when the job wasn't there, so I could be a stay-at-home mom. But I was miserable, like, I didn't have time. I feel like I didn't have time for things that I was passionate about, for things that I truly wanted to do, like wake up at 6:30 to go to work, to come home at like 5 or 6, being tired, having to cook, and then you look at it, you change and everything, and when you look at it, it's already 9 o'clock, so there's barely any time to do anything. I was miserable. I hated it. I really did. I remember just talking to God, being like, I don't want to live 40 years of my life like this. But the Lord opened the doors, and he closed the doors that needed to be closed, and here I am, and I'm honestly so grateful and so thankful for that. And yeah, that's really the story of how I came to be a stay-at-home mama. I did get asked some questions. So somebody asked if we are planning to have more kids and what age gap we're leaving between the kids, and the answer is absolutely yes. And that my husband and I always talked about is, like, after we had our first baby, we were going to just keep on having them. I've always wanted to have like 3 kids. My husband always wanted to have 4. I come from a big family. He comes from a family of 3 siblings and him, so 4. Now that I'm a mom, I really I really want to have as many as the Lord wants to give us. I know that might sound really crazy, but I don't know, that's just the desire in my heart. And regarding the age gap, we would like, ideally, for Leah to be 2 years old, but it's not like we're doing anything to prevent not getting pregnant either, so we're really just on the Lord's clock and hands right now. Like, whenever he wants us to have baby number 2, so be it. It's gonna happen whenever he wants it to happen. My only concern truly is the C-section. So it is recommended for women that have C-sections to wait at least a year or a year and a half. That's my like biggest concern, would be that like after that year mark, I'm good and I'm clear to have another baby. If I get pregnant before then you know, God has me in his hands. But yeah, that's just my only concern, I guess. Another question we got asked was, how do you deal with working full-time and taking care of your baby? Unfortunately, I cannot fully answer this because I don't work full-time, so I don't know what it is to like have to leave your baby with a babysitter or with someone else for you to like go work your 9 to 5. But my biggest suggestion is having someone that is trustworthy, caring for your baby, also not beating yourself up for it. Like, you are providing for your family, you're providing for your baby, so it is okay that that is the life that you're living, that is the reality that you're facing. That is completely okay. Being a stay-at-home mom, I'm not gonna say it's the only way right. No, this is just the reality for my family and I, and this is something that, this is just how the Lord wants my family and I to live our life, and we're okay with it. But I really wouldn't be able to say much regarding that. Enjoy the time that you have with them as much as you can. Be intentional with the time that you spend with them, even though you might come home tired from work. Make sure that you're not on your phone when you could be, you know, giving them your full attention. So people ask why we don't show Leah's face on the internet. I just don't feel like it. I don't feel comfortable. There's a lot of people that follow me, but they don't necessarily have a relationship with me, so I feel like it's a privilege to see my daughter's face. I don't know if that's weird or wrong, but also for like security purposes, we just don't feel safe putting her out on the internet just yet. Maybe at some point we will, just not right now. And I kind of like living this like little mystery that people don't know what my daughter looks like until they get the chance to see her in person. It's so crazy that I'm living this right now, because when my husband and I started dating, I was 17, so I mean I was very young and very naive about a lot of things. I remember like saying, oh, I'm a strong, independent woman, feel weird letting him pay for stuff even though he would regardless. And I just have this mentality that I think the world puts in us of like being strong, independent women and doing what men do to prove them that we're just as strong. And it's a feminist mindset that is completely wrong, and it's totally against the Lord's will and image and design for us as women. So I fully had to learn dependency on my husband at a whole new level, being a stay-at-home wife, being a stay-at-home mom. Dependency on the Lord, dependency on my husband, submission to another level. Like when we think of submission, we think of something that is like disciplinary or like sexist, and it's not. Actually, there's a verse that says submission is for both. Like we are to be submitted as wives to our husbands, and they are to be submitted as husbands to us, their wife. So it's a two-way stream, and it's so beautiful to see how our relationship has changed and how I'm able to really fit into the shoes of a wife and to like steward my home. Like he doesn't get to do that, I get to do it. I'm not saying he doesn't like do dishes or take out the trash or like he doesn't help me with my chores, but like having a balance of like you have this set of things to do and this is my part of doing it has truly been transformative. And I remember at one point, because I'm still learning, we still make mistakes, one day I was very overwhelmed. I think I was just doing a lot of things in the house, doing a lot of things like church related, ministry related, and my husband got home and I was just so mad at the fact that there were dishes to do and it wasn't his priority to get them done. And I really got into like this Martha spirit of like hustling and just worrying about having the house clean and stuff, and it kind of became an idol, I'm not gonna lie, because it's very easy to get lost in this world and not to have a good balance of it. So I remember the Holy Spirit stopping me right then and there, and just I felt the conviction so hard in my heart, and I could just hear him so clearly in my heart speaking to me saying he did his part today. He got up, he got ready, he went to work, and he came home. Did you do your part? And I felt so convicted from the Holy Spirit. I was like, whoa. And it really put into perspective that my husband, he's doing his part. Like he's not at home because he's out having fun or with the guys or playing golf or whatever. Like he's out because he's working, he's providing for our family, for me to be able to stay at home, for me to be able to take care of our baby. And there's just certain things that I have to do, and it's been beautiful to see how the Lord and how my husband has, they've been so graceful with me and just teaching me and just me learning, and it's truly made us kind of fall more in love with each other, I want to say, because just seeing him provide for our family, because before I felt like it was, you know, it was the both of us. Like he was still working, but I was working full-time as well, so I was also providing financially for our family. And just seeing how he's taken on the full load, and he's done it with so much grace. He still has time to be romantic, he still has time to come home with a smile, he still has time to go to the groceries and get me flowers, to have a good weekend. Like he could be a lazy bum and he could sleep all weekend, but he's always like active, he's on board with all the plans we have. And seeing that is so beautiful, how he's balanced his life, how he's learned to balance everything and to take on that weight on his shoulder that it has doubled, has been beautiful. Him seeing me as a stay-at-home wife, how I care for the house, how I clean, how I decorate, how I change things, how I have a warm cooked meal for him when he comes home, how he tells me, he compliments me on that. He's like, thank you, because if it wasn't for you, the house would be a hot mess. And I remember we were so busy both working full-time that there was a time that we didn't do dishes for like 2 weeks straight, and it was so bad. Like there was just a big pile of dishes. The laundry, there was like clean laundry but like just on the floor. It was a hot mess. And I feel like we needed this. We needed to have one of us that could just stay at home, take care of the house, take care of everything else, like answer the messages, answer phone calls, ministry wise during the day, like just have that time. We really needed this. It's been so good for our marriage, it's been so good for our family, and I truly just am so grateful for the Lord to give us this opportunity. So far we're just enjoying this little princess. Sometimes it's so surreal that I have a daughter, that I'm a mom, and that she's so beautiful, and it gets me so emotional. Ah, Lord. Okay, so yeah, there's like no time to get bored. There really isn't, with a baby, with everything else in our lives. The Lord has really ministered to me about like Martha and Mary. Martha, she had a servant spirit. She had a spirit of servanthood. She wanted to serve Jesus, so she wanted to prepare the house. She wanted it to be the cleanest and the best looking for the Lord to come in, and so she could serve him. But sometimes we're so busy, and we have good intentions. It's not that we don't have good intentions, being perfectionists and wanting to give our very, very best, that we miss out on the special moments, that we miss out to be intimate with the Lord. Okay for me to give myself grace, to hold on to grace the days that maybe I'm extra tired. Allow myself to have time for what really matters, to prioritize spending time with my loved ones. And even if that means to like bust my butt off on Monday to make sure the house is reset and nice and clean. Also, something that I've set myself is that I do not clean every single day. That's just not realistic for me, and I can make a whole video just on that. But I have one day in the week that I deep clean. So I do dishes, I do laundry, I deep clean the bathroom, the room, sweep, mop, whatever. But that is just once a week. That's a Thursday. The other days in the week, the house is not looking a mess or anything because we just pick up after ourselves. That has been key to having a clean house throughout the week, and for us not to have to clean every single day because we're just picking up after ourselves. It's easy, it's not time consuming. That has been something that has been working so well. I've been doing it this whole year. Sometimes we do dishes every single day, sometimes we don't. We just make sure that on Thursday everything is nice and clean, and it's been really, really great. It's worked so nicely for us. So that has been a game changer, or else I would literally be cleaning every single day, and we can't live our lives like that either. We cannot be like Martha. We have to be like Mary. We have to spend time with the Lord, spend time with our loved ones, and yeah. Thank you guys so much for chatting with me and for spending this time with us. I hope you enjoyed, and you will see me in my next one. Ciao.